Awaken to hair growth. Awaken to hair growth because there is possibility to get your hair back. Awaken to hair growth because we're not told that we're able to conquer and overcome alopecia. Awaken to hair growth because I want to be a positive light and beacon for you because I've healed my alopecia and now I help others do the same with different types of alopecia, men, women, children of all ages, of all races and ethnicities. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman, and today we are celebrating International Alopecia Day. This happens every year on August the 4th, and it's really exciting to look back and to see how far this movement has come, how far my mission has grown. And when I say this, I don't just take an account for my journey of healing, which took over 4 years, and then now after more than 8 years of healing, now it's not a big deal. And I know how to have my hair, how to have my life and move on. And that's even with COVID, with a pregnancy, with stressful times, with things that happen in life. And still, the hair is still here. And so the beautiful thing about this movement and this mission that I have to heal and reverse alopecia for anyone who wants it naturally and holistically, because I believe that's the only way. And in honest to goodness, that's really the only way is to heal it naturally and holistically. There's no other way. You have to do it naturally because it's your body that's attacking itself. And we can reverse that. We can reverse that in so many ways and in very little time. You don't need the medications for that. But today, especially, or on this day, I like to celebrate Alopecia International Day throughout the whole month of August. Just any special time when you're gearing up for Christmas, you celebrate the whole month, right? You start decorating and you start anticipating and buying gifts for people and this type of thing. For the Alopecia International Day, I also celebrate the whole month. And how do I do that? I look back at how far I've come. I look back at how many lives I've touched. And at this point, we're in the thousands. We're in the thousands in over 66 countries of people who have been helped and healed and have used my resources, the education I provide, the coaching, and have seen significant changes, have seen the hair growth, have fully recovered. We're in the thousands now. And that's a beautiful thing because sometimes we think, oh, we're just one person. We can't do anything. And trust me, in the beginning, I had a lot of self-doubt. In the beginning, I didn't think that this would help anybody. But then once I healed myself, I knew it would be impossible not to help others. It would be impossible and selfish not to help others and not to help them see that this is attainable for them in any country, in any language. I have it in English and Spanish. Projects in the future would be to translate this in various other languages so that we could reach more people because education is power. And then when you put the education and the data, the true data in your hands, then you're able to move forward with that. And many times it's almost like a home inspection. You get your home inspected and then you have the data of what needs fixed. If there's cracks here, leaks there, if the gutters need changed or cleaned out or et cetera. It's the same thing with your own self in the evaluation. We need to evaluate all of you in order for you to understand what's holding you back personally, because we're all on the same journey for the same goal of hair growth. However, it will look different for everybody. And it looks different because we're all different, because our lives are all different. Even if you lived in the same house for your whole life with your parents, with your brothers and sisters, it's all going to look different. But the beauty about this all is that now, more than 8 years later, not only do I have hair growth, but all my clients do too. And this is a beautiful thing because it gives us another option. It gives us another outlet to see, hey, I have alopecia, yes, but these are my options. And it's not just the medications. It's not just seeing the dermatologist and getting your normal injections on a monthly basis or a weekly basis. It's not just submitting and succumbing to drug trials that potentially could have really bad side effects later on in life. And there's no harm in healing your body naturally from the inside out and supporting it and understanding what you need in order for this never ever to happen again. As I was reading some articles today, I came across how one person with alopecia, who's a celebrity, her name is Jada Pinkett Smith, has regrown her hair. And it doesn't say how or why she's regrown her hair, but this is just another indication that it doesn't matter your age, your race, your ethnicity, or how long you've had it or how long you've been dealing with it. that healing is possible. And if you want more inspiration, I highly suggest looking at podcast episodes 60 and 80, where you have ladies over the age of 60 and 65 that are healing their hair loss that they've had for over 20 and 30 years. You could also see other ladies in their 30s and 40s that I've interviewed in the past. You could also see parents of children who've also healed on my program. And so be inspired, because this is not just me. This is not just me as a unicorn. This is available to anyone around the world. It really is. So spread the word. Take the time to spread the word and let others know. It's quite amazing how many people I come across with alopecia on a regular basis. I can go to a regular supermarket, I can go to the store, or even just be walking in the street. And lo and behold, I see people, children, adults of all ages, and they have alopecia. And sometimes they don't even know the name of it. I actually went into a store the other day. I was checking out, and the gentleman who was helping me had alopecia areata. And I saw this, and he was an older gentleman, must have been in his maybe late 50s, early 60s. And I told him about my story. And then he looked at me like, why are you telling me this? And I told him, did you know that you have alopecia? And he's, oh, is that what it's called? I just got this 3 months ago. And he told me his story about it. It's quite fascinating how people can walk around and not even know. And then that was my first time really diagnosing somebody right then and there and telling them, hey, you have alopecia areata, but you also have choices and options to heal this. And I gave him a couple facts, and some facts potentially already about and others you don't. But some facts that I'd like for you to know, just in case you haven't heard before, is that once you have one autoimmune disease, 25% of people go on to obtain and acquire a second and a third autoimmune disease. And so for many of you, maybe you're a male or maybe you're a female and you don't care about losing your hair and you don't care necessarily about healing because you think it's just hair. And I'm letting you know it's not just hair. I'm letting you know that there's consequences potentially of not healing it. It's almost like when you let a bad cold get worse and worse, the consequences is that it can go on from just a regular cold of the season to a flu, to a bronchitis, to a pneumonia. And pneumonia can cause death. You can die from pneumonia. People die from pneumonia on a regular yearly basis, and it's up in the thousands. So it's this type of thing where there's consequences if you don't heal. There's consequences if we don't get to it sooner rather than later. And so just like we don't want it to advance into pneumonia, we also don't want it to advance and have you acquire a second and a third. And granted, it's for a percentage of the population, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to sign up and just find out if that would happen to me. Less is better, less is more. So it's always easier to heal when you have less going on, but at the same time, it's also not impossible. I've had many clients who have Hashimoto's and Graves' disease and a second and a third autoimmune disease, and we're able to reverse them all on the program. And so everything is possible, but that's the first step. Yes, that is the first step, is believing that you can heal and taking action, believing that it's possible for you. Because many times we like to think that it's not possible for us. And yet, lo and behold, it is. Everything is so possible for you. And so on this day and on this month of August 2023, I want you to think about your alopecia journey. I want you to be inspired with others. If this is your first time listening to my podcast, I highly recommend that you listen to those interviews, that you listen to all the podcast episodes, starting from number 1 all the way to over 85, I think that we're at. And so this is where you can continue to learn, continue to understand the nuances of alopecia, of hair loss in general, and see and understand what's possible for you. But then also that a lot of times it's just us ourselves that are keeping us and limiting ourselves because of self-doubt or not believing enough. In the car when I was driving today, there was a song that came on and the chorus said, have faith in you and all that you do, and you will not go wrong. And I took that to heart because it is true. We need to have faith in what we do. We need to have faith in ourselves. We need to believe in ourselves, and not just for alopecia, but for everything that we do, everything that we want in life. It's 100% possible. It's 100% attainable. It's 100% in our hands. It's 100% happening, but Belief is huge, and belief is so important. It's part of that recipe. We have to believe in order to move forward. We have to believe in order to get ourselves unstuck. We have to believe in order to take action. We have to believe in order to invest in ourselves, in order to see that things are possible. There's one client in particular that I'm thinking about, and I interviewed her. I believe she's episode maybe 65, maybe 70, and she waited 5 years to join the program. In the first 4 weeks, she already started seeing many changes, including hair growth. And in many ways, she kicks herself for having to wait 5 years or maybe being on the fence for 5 years. And then lo and behold, she sees results immediately. And so understanding that we hold the key and the power to our lives, to our destiny, to our future, and no one can take that away from us. It's us who create our future. It's us who, with our mindset, with our thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, we create our future. And I commend everyone who has taken the step and the action steps to move forward, to do the program, to see the results, and to keep going, because there's so much more on the other side. There's so much more that we are able to do, appreciate, enjoy, love, and not have this burden of hair loss, and not have the worry, and not have the fear, and not have the anxiety or the depression or the angst about hair loss, because it's all gone. Because once you heal and you already have the keys to your power, to your hair, to your health, you have the keys and no one can take that away from you. You have the power within you. You really do. So I appreciate you. I commend all of you wherever you are in your journey, whether you're first starting, whether you've already finished and you love just hearing the podcast, or anywhere in between. I'm here to help. We're here to serve, and we're here to expand this mission as much as possible to everyone in the world. We want to make this available to everybody because everyone can heal. It's all possible, but the first step is believing. So I look forward to talking to you on the next podcast. Please rate and review and let us know how we're doing. I'd love to get any feedback on our podcast. And if you have any topics or questions, please let us know. We're here to help. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.